Hi, grade 9 students. I've been asked to do some examples on some specific questions in the exponent laws practice assignment, one of the previous assignments that we've done in class. So I created this video for all of you in case you want to do this assignment. The questions I was specifically asked to look at were the highlighted ones on the second page, 25, 26, 31, 32, 35, and 36. Now, in order to do that, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do examples of very similar questions and show you exactly how we would go about solving those. So let's take a look at 25. Let's say instead of that, the question was, let's get my eraser out there. Let's say instead of that, let's say the question was 3 squared times 3 cubed all to the power 2. So in that case, what we would do is we would look at this first. And when we look at that, what I'm really saying is we need to use the power of a power to simplify that expression. And when we have a power of a power, we multiply the exponents. So that's going to be 3 to the exponent 6. And we have 3 squared over here. Now, when we multiply exponents with the same base, we add the exponents and maintain that same base. So it's still a base of 3, and then we add the exponents. 2 plus 6 is 8. Now it does say we have to evaluate, so that's when we would use our calculator and we'd figure out what 3 the exponent 8 is. And of course, I never expect never expect you to know what 3 the exponent 8 is, so you would just figure it out on your calculator, and that would be that. Okay? So that's how you do a question like 25. 26 is very similar. And again, I'm not going to do question 26. I'll do a question like 26. And I'm going to do that question over here just so that there's room. The difference with 26 is that there's something on the bottom. So let's say we had 2 to the exponent 5 times 2 to the exponent 3. And we'll say that's squared. And then on the bottom, we have 2 to the exponent 4. So how do we go about and do that now? All right. So, well, again, what we're going to do here is we are going to take a look at this first. We're going to simplify that right there first. So, multiplying the exponents, we get 2 to the exponent 6. We have 2 to the exponent 5 right there. And we have 2 to the exponent 4 on the bottom. In order to figure out what this is, well, we do the same thing we did for 25. So we just add those exponents. So it's going to be 2 to the exponent 11 all over 2 to the exponent 4. And when we divide, instead of adding the exponents, we subtract the exponents. That's 2 to the exponent 7. And 2 to the exponent 7 is 128. So that's how you do a question like number 26. Okay? All right, now let's go on to 31. And 31, I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit darker here if I can. actually, maybe I'll make it, there you go. All right, so so right here, the question is 1 squared plus 2 cubed plus 3 to the exponent of 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something similar to that. I'm going to do 2 to the exponent of 2 plus 3 to the exponent of 3 plus 4 to the exponent of 4. Similar, very similar, but different numbers. So when we have something like this, there's no exponent rule for adding those together. There's no exponent rule. So because there's no exponent rule, what we have to do is we have to take each term and do it separately. Like evaluate each of those powers and see what you get. So 2 squared, 2 squared, 4, 3 cubed, 27. 4 to the exponent of 4, ooh, what's that? That's actually 256. That all those would be things that you should try to do, but if you can't use a calculator. We should be able to know the first 2 without a calculator. The third one you're not going to know without a calculator. You could figure it out in your head because 4 times 4, that's 16. Times 4 once more, 64. Times 4 one final time, and that's where it gets a little tricky. It's 256. And then it's just a matter of adding those 3 numbers together. 4 plus 27 is 31, plus 256 would be 287. And there's your answer for 31. All right, now let's take a look at 32. 32, there's a lot going on, but the key thing that I see in 32, is that minus sign there and that minus sign there. And that's going to help us because it's going to tell us that we're going to do this separately. We're going to figure out what that is as well. We're going to figure out what that is, and we don't have to do any figuring because that's already a 1. So each of those blue blobs we're going to figure out separately, and then we're going to do some subtracting because there's minus signs on top and bottom, and ultimately we're going to divide. So let's do it. And this one, I will do for you. I'm not going to make a different question. I'll just do this question for you. So 2 to the 3 squared, you're going to multiply those exponents. You're going to get 2 to the exponent 6. 2 squared is 4. 4 squared is 16. 1 is 1. 2 to the exponent 6 is 64. Minus 4 over 15. 64 take away 4 is 60. Divided by 15 is 4. And that's all for that one. There's lots there, and there's a fair bit of work you have to do, but that's how you go about and do it. And with that, we're off to the blanks. They're at the bottom of the page. So let's take a look at what we might do to look at those questions. So 35 is 2 cubed times 2 to the blank equals 2 to the exponent 12. So again, I'll do a similar question. I will do a similar question. The similar question I'm going to do is 2 to the 5 times 2 to the blank equals 2 to the 15. So when we multiply, we add exponents. So what that means is we're going to have 5 plus blank, and blank is just a variable. So we don't know what it is. That's equal to 2 to the 15. And what we need to do is we need to focus on this thing. 5 plus something is 15. So the question is 5 plus what? 5 plus what is 15? And of course, the answer is, of course, the answer is 5 plus 10 is 15. So the answer to that question is 10. And again, it's not the exact question 35, but it's to show you how to do a question like 35. So you will have to go ahead and take that strategy and kind of tailor it to what 35 is. And last but not least, we have 36 here. We have 6 to the blank divided by 6 cubed equals 6 to the exponent 5. When we divide, we subtract exponents. So I'm going to go ahead and make a similar question here. The similar question that I'm going to make is 4 to the blank divided by 4 to the 3 equals 4 to the 6. So the key thing here is when we divide, we subtract exponents. So 4 to the blank minus 3 equals 4 to the 6. And then what we're really doing is we're asking ourselves this question: what number minus 3 equals 6? What number minus 3 equals 6? If you have a hard time visualizing that, what you could do is you could make a separate little equation here. You could say, I've got some number, I don't know what it is, I subtract 3, I get 6. And this gives us an equation, and we know what to do with equations because we spent a very long time looking at them. And what we're going to do is, of course, we're going to add 3 to both sides, and therefore we're going to get x equals 9. So the answer is 9. The blank value is 9. So, and the question doesn't have x in it, of course, so we could just say blank equals 9 because the question uses the blank as the unknown, not x. So there you go, there you have it. There's an example of how to do the types of questions that I was requested to show you fine folks. I hope these help. Please try to get this assignment done and turned in if you haven't already done so. If you have any questions, make sure to either comment on one of my posts on the Facebook group, email me at brian.hutton@fsdnet.ca, or inbox me, or call the school and leave a message, 204-472-3431, extension 7415. If you leave me a message, I will get an email alert and be able to listen to your message, and then I will return your call as soon as I can.